Level 1, the loyal bureaucrat. You never planned on committing treason. Nobody wakes up on a Tuesday and decides to sell out their country. You are a mid-level bureaucrat in a foreign ministry, working in a gray, windowless office in a capital city that is technically an adversary to the United States. You consider yourself a patriot. You process paperwork, review diplomatic cables, and go home to your family. But beneath the surface of your completely ordinary life, there is a fracture. Maybe it is a sick child who needs an expensive medical treatment your government won't cover. Maybe you are deeply angry at your boss for passing you over for a promotion, bruising your ego. Or, most commonly, you have a vicious, hidden gambling addiction. You owe $50,000 to dangerous men in your city, and you are terrified. You don't know it yet, but that secret debt is blood in the water, and the sharks are already circling. Level 2, the mark. And you go to a high-end casino on a Friday night, desperately trying to win back the money you lost. You are sweating at the baccarat table when a friendly, well-dressed American sits down next to you. He introduces himself as a consultant or an international businessman. He speaks your language perfectly. He buys you top-shelf drinks. He laughs at your jokes. He makes you feel like the most important person in the room. You complain about your job, your debts, and your life, and completely unaware that this man isn't a businessman at all. He is a highly trained CIA case officer, and he has spent the last 3 months studying your habits, your weaknesses, and your vulnerabilities. He knows exactly how to manipulate the 4 human motivations: money, ideology, coercion, and ego. He has chosen money, and you are falling perfectly into his trap. Level 3, the friend. Over the next few months, the American becomes your closest confidant. You meet him at expensive restaurants that you could never afford on your government salary. He listens to your problems. When the bookies start threatening your family over your gambling debts, you break down in front of him. You are in tears, terrified of what will happen to your wife and children. The American smiles a warm, reassuring smile. He tells you not to worry. He tells you his company has a slush fund, and he can loan you the money to cover your losses. No interest. No strict repayment plan. Just a favor between friends. The relief washes over you like a narcotic. You accept the briefcase full of cash. You pay off the bookies. For the first time in years, you sleep through the night. You think you are saved. Level 4, the debtor. A month goes by, you meet your American friend for lunch. The tone is different this time. The warmth is gone, replaced by a cold, business-like precision. He casually mentions that his company is doing an audit, and he needs to justify the $50,000 he loaned you. He doesn't ask you to betray your country. He just asks you for a tiny, insignificant favor. He wants an unclassified internal directory of the foreign ministry. Just names and phone numbers, nothing secret. Just to show my bosses we are doing business, he says. You hesitate. It feels wrong, but you owe him your life. You print the directory, slide it into a manila envelope, and hand it to him under the table. But you tell yourself it's harmless. Level 5, the co-opted informant. The line has been crossed, and there is no going back. The American wants more. Next time, he asks for low-level classified memos. When you refuse, he calmly reminds you of the money you took. He reminds you that he has photographs of you accepting a briefcase full of cash from a known foreign intelligence officer. If he mails those photos to your country's counterintelligence division, you will be arrested, tortured, and executed for treason. The trap violently snaps shut. You have absolutely no choice. You realize with stomach-churning horror that your friend is a spy and you are now his asset. You begin smuggling classified diplomatic cables out of the ministry in your briefcase. Level 6, the active asset. Your life fractures into 2 distinct realities. By day, you are a loyal government employee. By night, you are an active foreign intelligence asset. You stop meeting the American in restaurants. You are taught rudimentary tradecraft. You learn how to use dead drops, leaving a hollowed-out rock filled with encrypted USB drives in a public park at exactly 3 p.m. You learn how to use encrypted communication apps on a burner phone. The paranoia becomes absolutely suffocating. When you walk to your car, you check your rearview mirror obsessively, looking for surveillance. You see shadows in every corner. You realize that if you are caught, the United States government will deny you exist, and your own government will put a bullet in the back of your head. Level 7, the crown jewel. Because of the money the CIA secretly funnels into offshore accounts for you, your life improves. You use your newfound confidence to secure a massive promotion. You are now a senior official with access to top-secret military deployments and weapons programs. You become a crown jewel asset. The intelligence you provide goes straight into the president's daily brief in Washington. You are single-handedly shifting the balance of global power. But you cannot touch the hundreds of thousands of dollars piling up in your offshore accounts without drawing suspicion. You are incredibly wealthy on paper, but you still have to drive a beat-up car and pretend to struggle to pay your mortgage. The cognitive dissonance is slowly tearing your mind apart. Level 8, the compartmented source. The agency changes your handler. The American who recruited you rotates out, and a new face appears. This proves to you that you are nothing but a disposable tool in a massive machine that runs on secrets and blood. You are completely isolated. You cannot tell your wife why you wake up screaming in the middle of the night. You cannot tell your friends why you constantly look over your shoulder. You are carrying the weight of treason entirely alone. You realize that you are the most vulnerable person in the entire intelligence ecosystem. The CIA officer has diplomatic immunity. If he gets caught, he goes home. If you get caught, you die. Level 9, the burnout. The psychological toll breaks you. You have been living a lie for 5 years. You start drinking heavily to numb the sheer terror of your daily existence. Your work performance slips. You become sloppy with your tradecraft. You leave a dead drop 10 minutes late. You miss a scheduled communication window. Your handler becomes aggressive, warning you that mistakes get people killed. But you are too exhausted to care. You are trapped in a nightmare where you are constantly betraying the people you eat lunch with every day. You know that your country's internal counterintelligence division is actively hunting for a mole. You sit in staff meetings while security officers discuss the leak, desperately trying to keep your hands from shaking. Level 10, the suspect. Your worst fear materializes. You notice a car parked down the street from your house that has been there for 2 days. A man reading a newspaper on a park bench looks at you twice. You are being watched. Your own government secret police are onto you. They audit your computer. They pull your travel records. The walls are closing in rapidly. You send a frantic coded emergency signal to your CIA handler. You demand they initiate an extraction. You demand they get you out of the country before the secret police kick down your front door. The agency tells you to stay calm and wait, but you know your time is measured in hours. Level 11, the exfiltrated defector. The midnight run. It is violent, fast, and completely chaotic. A CIA paramilitary team pulls you out of your house in the dead of night. You are shoved into the false floor of a diplomatic van or the trunk of a car. You are smuggled across a hostile border under the cover of darkness. You are terrified, but you are alive. However, the cost is absolute. You had to leave your wife, your children, and your parents behind without saying goodbye. You know that your family will be violently interrogated and socially destroyed because of your treason. You trade your entire world just to keep breathing. Level 12, the debriefed exile. You land at a military base in the United States. You are immediately taken to a heavily guarded safe house in the woods of Virginia. For the next 6 months, you do not see the sun. CIA debriefers sit across from you for 12 hours a day, aggressively draining every single drop of intelligence from your brain. They ask you about every file you ever read, every conversation you ever had, and the personalities of every official you ever met. You are a lemon being squeezed for juice. Once you have told them absolutely everything you know, and the debriefers stop coming, you realize that your value to the United States government has officially expired. Level 13, the hunted. You are given a completely fake American identity, a modest house in a boring suburb in the Midwest, and access to your offshore money. You are safe, but you are entirely hollow. You are completely alone. You can never, ever pick up the phone and call your children. Doing so would lead foreign assassins straight to your doorstep. You spend your days sitting in a quiet living room, watching the news about the country you betrayed. You have millions of dollars, but you cannot spend it on anything that matters. You wake up at 3 a.m. and walk the perimeter of your house, looking for the hit squad your former government inevitably sent to silence you. You sold your soul, your country, and your family just to become a ghost. And somewhere in a foreign capital, an American spy is buying a drink for a desperate bureaucrat with gambling debts. The cycle begins again.